At the time of its release, Guardians of the Galaxy was Marvel's first real surprise hit. Nobody, and I mean nobody, expected this movie about a group of superhero misfits in space to be the runaway success it turned out to be. And that level of success can be attributed in part to the interesting characters in it. Chief among these interesting characters is the walking meme factory known as Groot. Groot turned out to be one of, if not the most popular character from the movie, and both his death and resurrection were seen as some of the best parts of the film. His next form, Baby Groot, turned out to be so popular with audiences that James Gunn, the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, decided to leave Groot in Baby Groot form for the sequel. But that cycle of death and rebirth got me thinking about the subject of death for Groot's people. Can Groots die? Is it even possible for his species to die? And if so, how does that work? How would you go about doing it? To answer that, we first need to take a look at Groot's powers. We know he's strong and extremely durable, but he's not invincible. He's had his arms whacked off by Gamora earlier in the movie, and by the end of it, we see Groot cocoon his fellow teammates and save them from a massive explosion, being turned into a pile of splinters in the process. So based off of that, we know it's relatively easy to destroy Groot. Shoot him, bomb him, or even lure him into a wood chipper. Given enough time, it's likely that you'll be able to destroy his body. But you'll still have to deal with that super impressive healing factor of his if he's replanted.
It'll grow back, you daft idiot. Quit whining.
In the movie, after Rocket plants a single piece of Groot in a pot with some soil, we find out that a baby Groot sprouted from the piece in the pot, and that he has some awesome dance moves. However, unlike with a lot of other fictional characters, like for instance Cell from Dragon Ball Z, the piece planted doesn't necessarily need to be Groot's core or his brain or whatever description floats your boat. In the comics, we've seen characters rapidly grow Groot from random slivers they carry around with them in case they need a quick source of muscle, and it's not unbelievable to think some of the same rules apply to the movie version. In the movie, Rocket's tearful reaction to Groot dying and the surprised look on his face when Baby Groot shows up made it seem like he's never regrown Groot before, and if that's the case, he wouldn't think to figure out which piece of quote-unquote wood had Groot's core in it. More likely, he probably just grabbed a random piece from the crash site on Xandar and planted it in order to always have a piece of his friend to remember him by, not necessarily expecting anything to actually happen with it. This growing from any piece planted in the ground type of thing is probably how Groot's species colonized their planet in the first place. Alright, so since Groot can return to life even after exploding, he can't die, right? Well, not necessarily. There are flaws in his healing factor system. You see, Groot's regeneration seemingly works exactly how the life cycle of other plants work. If you don't plant him, he can't grow, as evidenced by the fact that we never saw any other baby Groot spring up from the rest of those pieces the Guardians left on Xandar. Wait too long to plant him, the random sliver you picked probably won't be viable and he won't grow back from it. And as we saw earlier, you can in fact hurt Groot, so why not just pour acid on his remains and liquidate him? If you obliterate, disintegrate, or otherwise remove all of the pieces, then he has nothing to grow back from and therefore would die. Even if you weren't quite able to destroy Groot and actually just turned him into splinters like in the movie, you could still kill him by just not planting him. Since he works like other plants, you could probably also just kill him like other plants too. Throw some type of poison into the pot Baby Groot's growing in, or maybe set him on fire, leave him out in the cold too long, leave him somewhere low enough for your cat to get to him, or just be really bad at taking care of plants. Just to be extra sure, you could probably even throw his splinters in a room devoid of essential plant foods like sunlight, water, soil, or even air, since he might be able to use carbon-rich air like any other plant does for growth. You know, use your imagination. But funny enough, depending on how strictly you want to stick to the definition of death, you don't actually need to go through all that work at all. Believe it or not, once his body's been destroyed, Groot will technically be dead even if he grows back. According to James Gunn in January, Groot's personality and memories might not carry over after he's been resurrected. During one of his many Q&A sessions on Facebook, James Gunn replied to a fan's post with the following statement: "Well, who says Baby Groot is Groot and not Groot's son? He might be dead." Keep in mind, this isn't the first time he's written / said something like this either. 2 months ago, he also wrote some answers on Facebook regarding Groot's parentage, stating, "Is Baby Groot the same as Groot or Groot's son? It's complicated." Now, James Gunn said before that the version of Groot in Guardians 2 won't necessarily be the same one we saw in the first movie, instead insisting that the version of Groot in Guardians 1 is, for all intents and purposes, dead. In the same Facebook post I mentioned a second ago, he wrote, "Does he have Groot's memories? No." Side note, the mention of this new Groot being the son of the original also kind of supports the theory that I mentioned earlier, how Groot's people probably seeded their planet by spreading their splinters out as far as they could. I don't know, I just thought that was interesting. I just wanted to point that out. So like I said, depending on what your definition of death is, you could technically kill Groot by just blowing him up, bringing him back to life by replanting him, and just letting him go. Sure, you'd still have a giant tree man to deal with eventually, but at least the original Groot's personalities and memories will be permanently destroyed, right? Come to think of it, doesn't that make him Wolverine from X-Men Origins?
You can't stop him. He'll heal.
His brain may heal, and his memories won't grow back.
Hopefully by the time Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 arrives in theaters, we'll get official confirmation on this. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen. So if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.